no idea if the microphone's on because it got disconnected right before I hit start. It looks like it's working. Okay, hello, I'm back. I did get sick like a week ago, and I thought I was feeling better, but it turns out I've been really feeling fatigued and just like struggling to do anything. And I've been missing crocheting and I've been missing streaming. So I wanted to stream some more. Um Yesterday I really wanted to crochet, but I didn't have the mental capacity to do the grinding square project. And I just kind of wanted to lay down and be a bum, and so I didn't want to lock Pugsley away because he sheds so much, so I can't work on my blanket for my friend because I didn't want his fur all over it. So I went and I got like three of, are they called Karen, whatever these are, uh, the big cakes, and I was my friend like exclusively does like single crochet blankets, and so I kind of wanted to do one. I was like, I'm gonna do a big single crochet blanket. The moment I started, it went out the wind, and I'm doing a triple instead of a single. But it's because I like the texture better, and I like that it's gonna build up a little bit faster because committing to a single crochet does feel a little mind-boggling, and I like the hand motion of doing a triple versus doing a single, and I'm really liking the way that it's looking. I like that it's like blocky. It's gonna be somewhat blocky. Um, and so I'm still not feeling well. I'm still not doing 100%. I like mentally feel like my battery is just not charging since I got sick, feels really shitty. Um, 'Cause I feel like I'm also being like kind of weird with my friends whenever they're trying to talk to me. That I'm just like, I don't, I don't want to talk. I want to sit in a dark room and do nothing. Um, I've also been sleeping more, which makes me feel a little scared because I don't want my like chronic fatigue to come back because that was like a very dark place that I was at. Um, but it's also the weather has been rainy, which usually makes me like really chill and sleepy and calm. So it hasn't been bad. It hasn't been happening long enough that I feel bad or anxious about it. It just kind of feels like what it is, you know? And um Vinny's over there. He doesn't like Pugsley being in his spot, so he's being a grump. He has his emotional support toy, and then Pugsley is upset that I don't want to play fetch. But also the thing about him is like I'm trying to crochet. It's hard to play fetch with you. I'm like, well, I crochet, but then he also rubs the toys into my arm if I take more than a single second to grab the toy. And when I'm crocheting, it is going to take more than a single second. And what ends up happening is I then just have slime all over me, and it feels really gross when I just got out of the shower. So my children are disappointed in their father today. That is just the vibe that we're starting with. It's great. I feel wonderful. Um, I've been things have been a struggle this past like week and a half. Well, technically 2 weeks because I was sick. What 2 weeks ago? I just finished my antibiotics 3 days ago. Um, and then I felt extremely fatigued the entire time since I was sick. Which there hasn't been sun since I was sick. I don't know. I don't know. It's been something. Really been something. I also I got my spare phone because I'm using my phone as a camera, and it is not turning on, which is making me just a little bit anxious. I'm sure my mom's gonna call with like an emergency, and she's gonna be like, "Why didn't you answer your phone?" I'm gonna be like, "Cause a Twitch shit. My phone was busy." Although I think if she calls, I get a notification on the monitor down here, but I am not 100% sure. But yeah, this is probably gonna be, unless someone comes in and somebody wants to chat. For the most part, it's probably just gonna be me dissociating and building up this blanket. I started this last night. It's gonna be big because like it's still rolled up. There's still this much I didn't mean to make it this big. I wanted it to be a little bit longer than my arm's length. I think I made it almost like double. I was kind of out of it last night and I was anxious. The thing about the fatigue is I've just been avoiding panic attacks because I have probably what one day will be PTSD from having chronic fatigue because it was so bad. What was that? Was like 3 years ago that it like was crippling. It's been a long time now. I think it was 3 years ago that I had like really bad fatigue for about 8 months. Things got like pretty dark. And honestly, another time that I should have broken up with my boyfriend at the time because one day he was like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I still don't feel good. I don't know what's going on. I still feel rough." He goes, "Oh, you're not feeling well? How long have you not been feeling well?" And it had already been like 6 months or 5 months at that point, and I was like, "Nothing, nothing. Everything's fine. I'm gonna. It doesn't matter. I don't." Because like the thing that really sucked about having chronic fatigue is um it wasn't something that was like easily visible on the outside, and so it made me feel like an awful lazy piece of shit. And um, I I remember trying to explain it to my friend at the time who I was living with, and I remember trying to kind of explain to my boyfriend at the time that I felt really awful and that I felt like a prisoner in my body and I just like couldn't do it. And both of them weren't really um they weren't really, I don't know. Taking it great's not correct. I would just say there for me. My roommate and best friend at the time kind of made me feel shitty for it. And my boyfriend never paid attention to me long enough to even register it was happening. Which, like, yeah, I think the more I look back at that relationship, the more I wonder what the fuck I was doing. Cause yeah. So, and things got fairly dark after month 6. It was month 1 through 2. I didn't know what was happening. I always had bad allergies, so I thought like, oh, it's probably just bad allergies. Um, and then by month 4 and 5, I was like, ooh, something's not right. Like this doesn't feel right. And it was happening like kind of like fairly deep into COVID. Like it was right after things had like opened up again, and so things were back to normal, but everyone was still getting COVID constantly. And I think what it was like side effects from COVID and potentially like long COVID or some kind of like weird autoimmune thing that got like sparked by COVID. I have no fucking idea because there was evidence in my blood work and then there wasn't evidence in my blood work, and it was like a thing that I still get really frustrated about. But at that time, all the doctors were like, because so many people were getting sick, were like booked, and I couldn't see anyone, and it was like a weird, chaotic mess, and I just felt so trapped. And then one day it just stopped, and I don't know what it was. And recently, I've been reading about a lot of like weird long COVID symptoms that some people are going through, and I've been reading some accounts, and I've just been kind of like, huh, that is kind of the like weird chronic fatigue thing that's going on with certain people who get long COVID does sound very reminiscent to what happened to me. But I get really upset because it was really hard and really dark. I mean, there was this one weekend that I had decided like, okay, you're struggling, you have no energy, you're really, maybe you just need like really, really aggressive rest. Um, because I was treating my body like a battery and pretending my body just needed to be fully recharged. So I had decided that I was gonna get like a bunch of healthy foods and a bunch of healthy snacks and get like a couple cases of water. And I was just gonna stay. I'm just gonna force myself to stay in bed all weekend so that by Monday I would have lots of energy and like be ready to face the world. And um, I did. I like hydrated, ate healthy, and then Monday came, and I still could barely get myself out of bed. I had to get up to go to work, and I remember just like laying there and sobbing because I just felt like my body was torturing me in like a very, very aggressive way. And I also just like felt really, really alone because shit was going on with my best friend at the time, and he kind of resented me for being alive. Um, my boyfriend at the time was kind of being shitty to me and just really wanted me to be like an emotional support pet and didn't really want to do any of the work of an actual boyfriend and just couldn't listen to anything that I said for for more than like what 3 inches of depth. I don't know. And in addition to that, because of like the shit that was going on with other stuff that was going on in my life, he was like, "I'm listening to that, so I don't really have to listen to anything else, right?" And I was just like, "Yeah, sure." Hey, how are you? Sorry, I have just been talking about the dark things and the sad things. Um, because they've been on my mind since I got sick. Um, 'Cause I've just been fatigued, so I've been having like constant like war flashbacks. Um, to when I was chronically fatigued. Apologies. I will try to stop and think or talk about happier things. Because of other shit going on in life, and I was ready to flip some tables and push these other because oh yeah, yeah, no. It I sometimes okay. Sometimes I meet new people and I'm hanging out with new people, and at some point they'll ask me like why I am the way that I am, or like why I'm. I don't know how to explain this. I've always been a caretaker, so a lot of people always wonder what the fuck that is when they hang out with me. But then I also am very kind of like a little cold and distant these past couple years. And when people are like, "Hey, so what's that about?" and I start talking about the situation with my ex best friend and my ex boyfriend, the look of horror in their face is usually crazy. And my ex best friend, leagues worse than my ex boyfriend. My ex boyfriend just couldn't see past his own defeatist attitude and made a lot of self harm, self destructive choices that he then would what's the word? He would I forgot the word, but he would put it on me. he would make it he would make bad choices, and then he would come up make up a story in his mind that I made bad choices to make himself feel better. Um, and that was it. That was the only issue with him. That and like not letting anybody in and using people. But he was a good guy. He I would argue was a good guy, just not good to the people who fall in love with him. And I would bet $1,000 that he's probably doing it to someone else right now. Um, but I still, if he ever needed me, I would show up, I would help him, and then I would say goodbye and get away from him. I will always show up for that man. My ex best friend, if somebody told me he was currently on fire, I would say, "Oop, well, that sucks." I truly like my ex best friend. Was a good person, but became a complete and utter monster. And a lot of it has to do with this like really sad, upsetting um what's the word? Insecurity, but he also had this like really weird greed. And then he dated this horrific piece of shit narcissist who truly who was awful. And the moment he met me, viewed me as a threat and would talk shit to me in front of my best friend's face from the moment he met me. And I truly, me and my best friend, before this man came into our lives, were ride or dies. We would always be there for each other. This man came in and like was truly a awful person. Awful person. Well, he got like mad at my ex best friend for celebrating my birthday. He got mad at him when one of his like cousins died, and I offered to take him to the funeral, out of state, and he like was like, "He better not come for you," and I was like, "Jesus fucking Christ!" Like this person is a monster, a fucking monster. One of the stories I always tell is the day that I met him. I want to say this was the first time we met, but it might have actually been the second time we met. We might have just met in passing the first time. Um, I was me and my friend would take turns cooking dinner for each other because we lived together. But I did the majority of the cooking because I was a little bit more efficient and quick. And usually, if there was more like money involved with like quick meals or ordering food, he would do it. Or if I was just lazy, he would cook. But for the most part, I cooked the dinners. Um, and I was cooking dinner for us one day, and we usually watched TV while we ate dinner or lunch or whatever. I want to say it was dinner, and it was dinner because it was after work. Yes, okay. So he had asked me. He was like, "Hey, so and so, his boyfriend, his air conditioner is not working right now, and he was wondering if he could come have dinner with us." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I was just starting dinner. I was like halfway through dinner, and he was like, "Okay, cool. He's already on his way." And I was like, "Okay, so you didn't weren't actually asking me. You were you were telling me that he's joining us." So I finished dinner and I was plating it, and while I was plating it, um, I turned to my friend. I was like, "Okay, so what are we watching while we eat?" And he goes, "Oh, so and so doesn't like to watch TV while he eats." Okay, well we're in our house. I cooked the food. He was not originally invited. He is coming out of like a need to get out of his house. Um, wow. And like before I could even like take in that information, his boyfriend chimes in. Yeah, I just think it's really fucking tacky. Wow. Okay. Wow. I just cooked this fucking food. for me and my friend, there was just it just happened to be enough for your ass. Um, you were joining us for our dinner. We're not going to your house to eat at your place. Like I was just, and I was like, why am I getting fucking strays? I cooked the food. This motherfucker's coming in here to eat the food that I made. Like what are we doing? What and like that was our I think second or first interaction. We had barely interacted at this point, and he was already just like throwing fucking rocks at me. And like truly when I say things only got worse from there. The things that this man would say to me, the fucking full on crying tantrums this guy would have behind scenes. I I heard about a few of them from my friend, and I think he stopped telling me about them, but I still could tell they were happening because the entire vibe would shift after he had a conversation with him. Um, and I remember because one day he specifically told me that he like they there had a discussion. My friend did nothing wrong, but like his boyfriend still wanted to like get more power out of the situation or something. So he cried in his car for 2 hours for my friend doing nothing wrong, fully nothing wrong, but he lost more power. Like it's such a thing of like, why? Like, one, my friend was a fucking pushover to begin with. He did not need to be manipulated this way. My friend was a goddamn fucking pushover. Like, our first 3 years of being friends, half the time I was just trying to get him to be less of a pushover to people because he was such a goddamn pushover. And I wish he stood up for himself for his own goddamn self. The only reason he, towards the end of our friendship, he stood up for himself was because there were situations where his boyfriend wanted more control over him, over a like a wider scale. And so my friend learned to tell people no, but the only reason he learned to tell people no and I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that or I can't help you, I have to do this or I have to take care of myself in this moment was never about him taking care of himself. It was only about being available and doing what his boyfriend wanted. And I was like, that's not the lesson we should have learned. That's not the fucking lesson. Oh my god, it would drive me crazy. And because of that, man, my ex-friend did some really awful things to me and really emotionally manipulative things and would gaslight the fuck out of me. Both him and my ex did that. But like my ex he gaslit me in a way that sometimes I think if I really think about it, I think it had a lot to do with his damage, his issues, and his like fucking self-hatred, which is not okay. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I am just saying I can kind of no. How do I say this? With my ex-boyfriend, I don't think the shitty things he did to me was malicious. I do not think he was even aware 25% of the time of the stuff he was doing. I think he was just constantly in a state of self loathing, self maintenance, and self protection that he did a lot of shitty things. I'm not making excuses. I just, I think it's more forgivable what my ex boyfriend did. My ex friend, on the other hand, would gaslight the fuck out of me specifically just because he didn't want to have a conversation with his boyfriend. Did not want to stand up to his boyfriend. Did not want his boyfriend to be even slightly disappointed in him. And he took it to extremes. The kind of gaslighting he did was just like straight up being like, the sky outside is pink. And I would go outside and be like, no, it's blue right now. The sun's not setting. And he goes, no, it it's it's green. was like, "You just said pink." And he'd be like, "No, I didn't. I've always been saying it was green. You never listened to me." And I'd be like, "No, no, I took notes. You've been doing this so aggressively that now whenever you talk to me, I take notes." And he'd be like, "No, you're wrong. You made up those notes. You're crazy. You're trying to control me." And I'd be like, "What are you the sky's fucking blue. What the fuck are you talking about?" And then I would get mad and I would start screaming. And he'd be like, "See, you're abusive." And I'm like, "You're trying to convince me that the sky's a different color. Like I what the fuck are you talking about?" And he was like, "You need help. Like you're crazy." And like I think living with that for as long as I did make me ignore a lot of the lying that my boyfriend did at the time because like truly it was I a lot of the times I walked away from my boyfriend because I knew I wasn't allowed to talk about my discomfort because he never wanted to talk about what was happening. And he had so many tells and he would project so much onto me that I could always kind of tell when he was up to something and when there was something going on, but I was never allowed to talk about it. And so because I was never allowed to talk about it without I was living with a friend who constantly was gaslighting me and telling me I was crazy. My boyfriend was also lying to me, and if I would ever try to talk to him about what was going on and that I knew something was off, well, then he would lie to me and tell me I was crazy. And so a lot of the times I would just be like, okay, well, then I just don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I love you to death. I don't want to do this. So, um, yeah, so my ex-friend was, like, really, really fucking shitty. Um, in all of this, um, I was having a really fucked up medical issue that was happening that I couldn't talk about, that I couldn't show visually. I was having a hard time seeing a doctor, and I didn't have a lot of money, so I couldn't pay to do 3 doctor's appointments in a row, which is what I would have to do to see a specialist. And so, all of that to say, I've been fatigued all week, and I am having multiple war flashbacks of just being in that dark place again, and it has not been fun, and it has not been good for my mental health. And I like want people around. I want my friends around. I would love to have a guy around, but at the same time, I don't want anyone to fucking look at me, and I don't want anyone to talk to me, and I don't want to be perceived. And it's very weird, and I do in fact feel crazy. I do feel crazy. It's a awful feeling to like I'm so scared of having that fatigue again. I was truly like stuck in my bed for 8 months. I would go to work, crawl to bed, go to sleep, go to work, and I was a fucking zombie at work. It was bad. And like, I'm like scared of COVID now because I'm like, well, what if it is long COVID? Why the fuck would I want AI viewers? I don't even want AI art in my life. Why the fuck would I want AI viewers? Sorry, I just saw that. I was like, fuck off. um, yeah, yeah, that was like a weird, but I've also been fucking info dumping on people because like people were like, "So what are you so scared of?" And I was like, "It was the worst time of my fucking life. It was a nightmare. I hated it. I fucking hated it. I do not want to go back. Ugh. I can understand that feeling of wanting company but not track interaction. Said company, just let me be quietly in the same space. Yeah, that's all I really, really want. I also, oh my god, if you want to talk about like weird, am I crazy trauma? Because of everything that happened with those two, and because of other stuff with other people, I've been having like a really. Oh, hold on, I have to let my dog out of the room, but I closed. Oh, that was dumb. 1 second. Can you go outside? Can you open the door? It's raining. I'll go outside. leave. Let me snooze that. Yeah, sorry. I closed the door because I was drying laundry. Um, I met this guy who moved away, but we were hanging out and we were just casual friends for I don't know. I think he was here for like I think we were friends for maybe like 2.5 months before he had to move. But we still talk every day, and we'll like video chat and we'll chat, and he's incredibly kind and he's been really helpful with a lot of stuff. But he wants like nothing from me. He wants absolutely. Oh, I forgot to turn on all the lights. Oh, it's because my phone was dead. That's why. Uh, oh, this isn't even charging. Fuck. Okay. Ugh. 1 second. Um, like he didn't want to date me. He didn't, or how do I say this? It's not that he didn't want anything from me. It's that he didn't need anything from me. He didn't want to date me. He didn't need like a certain amount of attention from me. If I were to just like disappear off the face of the earth, he would be worried about my health, but he wouldn't be like mad at me. He often is like, "You don't need to be my friend." And I was like, what do you mean?" Like it's very weak. Like he needs nothing from me. Nothing from me. And everyone else in my life that I have interacted with always has or had something they aggressively needed from me. I'm fine if you want something from me. Like I'm fine if you want to hang out or if you want to spend time with me or something along those lines, but old man voice controlling lights from an app. Back in my day. Hey, I would take a clapper, honestly. Um, I Huxley, chill. But come on, just relax. You don't need to be just pushing me all the time. He doesn't want to be on top of me, okay? I'm not bullying him and not letting him be on top of me. He does not want to be on top of me. He just wants to push and nudge me. I'm not bullying this dog, I swear. If he wanted to lay on top of me, that'd be fine. That's not what he wants. Don't fall for it. um, I I've been going through like a very aggressive healing process where I am like not letting myself chill. I am very much like asking myself like really hard questions and overanalyzing a lot of the stuff that I went through. I had a really weird emotional reaction to having a friend who I love, who loves me, who doesn't want a romantic relationship, doesn't want a sexual relationship, doesn't need a certain amount of attention, doesn't need me to think of them in any specific way, just is happy with me perceiving them however I perceive them, who is okay, who wouldn't judge me for doing literally anything, who doesn't need a specific amount of attention, who does not need me to put on a mask, who does not need me to be clean, who does not need me to be dirty, who doesn't need anything from me. Truly, truly doesn't need anything from me. In a way that like I found very confusing and had like a weird emotional reaction to because everybody needs fucking something from me. Everyone in my life has needed something from me. And like I'm sure that like if I were to say that out loud to certain people, they'd be like, I didn't need anything from you. And I can name the specific things that people needed from me. Like my ex-boyfriend didn't want me. he needed someone around. He needed someone to make him feel a certain way, right? He didn't wanna do the work to have a boyfriend, but he needed someone to make him feel beloved the way a boyfriend did, right? My fucking ex-best friend needed someone to make him feel special. And he did a lot of harm looking for that need. Um, I'm totally fine with someone wanting me around. There's something about needing me around for something else that has absolutely nothing to do with me that I think weighed on me a lot more than thought it did. And I'm still trying to figure that out. I did not know I would have such an emotional reaction to that. Is there an ad going on? In addition to that, I have another friend who is not that much around, and I don't talk to him as much, but I still talk to him a lot. Who he also is just like a really chill dude who just kind of wants to hang out with someone who also doesn't fucking need anything. And I I have my two female friends that I hang out with are really cool, really great, but the only thing that they need is we all need friends. But other than that, they don't need anything from me. But there is like a need for friends, which I have, right? Like I need friends. I am not saying that like I am like that. I don't I would love to be that person for someone. I'm not that person. I definitely need things from people too. That's a very normal human thing to need things, right? With a lot of times, my thing is like I need friends. I also I feel very comfortable in a caretaker role, so I often will become a caretaker, which I think is why when I date someone, I become very needy and like I've been calling it lately like princessy, where I'm like, Will you do that for me? Will you do this for me? Will you give me some ice? And will you pour a beverage in that ice?" Because like I think with everyone else, I'm always like, "What can I get for you? What do you need?" And blah blah blah. And I think when I get like really relaxed and I really like someone, I very much become a lazy piece of shit. Like I do worry about like finding a romantic partner now, but I also think that's just because I don't think I was like that with my exes. I might have been like that with Mickey, but Mickey was weird. We don't talk about Mickey. Mickey was he was a broken man, but he was also a saint. So I think Mickey was great. Mickey Me and Mickey were just wrong place, wrong time. He needed to do some maturing. I really needed to do some maturing. Um he also speaking of need, just needed to feel love and needed to feel romantic love. And I think I was just there, which I get a lot from a lot of people that I date. Um, which I think is why it's like such a sore spot for me. Like, you didn't love that T-shirt; you just needed a fucking T-shirt. Like, you didn't want the T-shirt; you needed a T-shirt. Very different. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've been in such a weird funk these past couple of days, and just kind of like tired of people. Um, sounds similar to me. We have people pleaser as a part of our mask, our defense, and we relax when we need. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, I think because I'm always kind of on and doing things for people, I think these past couple of months I have kind of become the opposite of that. It's not a brat, but the only way I could call it is like being princess, where I'm just like, "Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Can you?" Because I'm constantly just like on, and I like I No, you don't need to put my pinky in your mouth, you psychopath. No. Um and I think it's a weird habit that I had from my ex-best friend because like we would get high and drunk and I would just I'm not the person you want to be high with because I very much am incapable of taking care of myself and I just become like I need snacks. Can you figure that out? And then if you don't get me snacks, I get very upset. I don't get high with a lot of people because one, I don't really like being high. I don't get high very often. And when I do, I'm if I don't like you or if I'm not like really comfortable and trustworthy of you, I, I am self-conscious of how annoying I am because it will just become, can you please get me things, please? I need cold now. Can you get me cold beverage? I need sweet now. Can you get me something sweet? I need salty. Can you get me something salty? It's obnoxious, and I don't blame people for hating me when I am under the influence. Which is why I don't think I've gotten high in like a few years. Um, what? What? You could have gone around. You didn't need to do that. And we're not playing fetch. I also don't like playing fetch with him while I crochet because he will just start to rub his the saliva all into my skin and it is not fun for me, especially when I already showered. But yeah. That being said, I was sick. I have been better for like a week, but I'm also like still suffering from fatigue and it scares the shit out of me. And so that's why I've been not streaming as much. Um and that is why I am constantly just sitting around having more flashbacks. Other than that, rereading Dungeon Crawler Carl so that I could have a good fun reading experience of the new one when I get to it, probably this week. I am about to finish was it the Butcher's Masquerade, which I remember hating more. I really love it, but I think I love it because I like feeling emotions, and it's the one that makes me cry the most. And I highly recommend Dungeon Crawler Carl to anyone who hasn't read it yet. It's great. Donut makes me cry the entire book series. You're still at the very beginning of book one? No, buddy, no. You don't need to chew on me. No. I don't like being chewed on. Well, I don't want you to be chewing on me. Yeah, you gotta get past book one. Once you get past book one, stop. Um, once you get like halfway through book two, which is significantly better than book one, um, you will be addicted. Um, what part of the story are you on? So I know what not to say. Because if you are talking about being at the very beginning of the new book, I'll talk about I'll drop spoilers of Butcher's Masquerade, and I will sob like a wee little bitch on the stream. No, no. Will you chill the hell out? But also, I appreciate you going behind and not in front of me, so I shan't complain. But if you start licking the microphone, I will complain. In the first book, he just entered the first level and found the first NPC in Tutorial Guild. Oh, you're very much at the beginning. Are you doing the audiobook or are you doing the physical book? Because the audiobook is so amazingly narrated. I have to say, it is a wonderful narrative experience. I hear though it is also still a good read. I love the audiobook so much. Why did I forget his name? Who does the audiobooks? Something Haynes, Jeff Hayes, I think. But yes, I love Donut with a burning passion. She's my favorite character, a character that you will not meet for a very long time. Wait, no, I think he's in book two. I think he has a very small appearance in book two. Is Prepotente? Prepotente's second best character. I love our pony boy. I love him so much. I there are certain things that he does that I would be like, oh, everyone hates him. He would be my best friend. I would be talking to him all the time. He This is kind of a spoiler, but also not a spoiler at all. He likes to give hugs, and the moment he hugged me, I would be like, "Yeah, we're friends. We're friends. You're. I will take care of you. You will take care of me probably, but I will also I will nurture this friendship." I love Prepotente so much. Not as much as Donut because Donut I love with a burning passion. But today I got to one of the saddest parts in the Butcher's Masquerade. There's a lot of sad parts actually in the Butcher's Masquerade, but I got to a part that I really like, and I forgot how well written it was. Hang on, blow my nose. And I was quoting it to people who have never read any Dungeon Crawler Carl. I was like, "This book is written so well. This part is written so good. You people need to read this book. It's it's a great series, wonderful, wonderful series." And I think sending that quote to someone might have converted them into a Dungeon Crawler Carl reader, which made me happy. It was a really good quote, and it, there's a line that happens. There's multiple. I had to pause it. I was listening to the audiobook at work, and I had finished doing all of my work for a little bit, and I was taking a break, and I was sitting down, I was crocheting, and no one was in that section of the office, and then the part happened, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna cry at work! Fight the tears!" And then two of my coworkers came in and started having a conversation, and I was like, "Nobody look at me! I'm crying! Nobody look at me! Nobody look this way!" It's one of those books that you're like, when you start the book, you're like, "This is gonna be a funny haha book. This isn't gonna make me have any emotions." And then I, which I'm a crier. I cry for most media, but it gets so dark. You get so emotionally invested. There, but also Donut is the one that does it to me. The Donut has the most lines that make my eyes water without spoilers. Oh no, I can't quote it without my eyes watering. There's a moment where she just looks at a character and says, "What if you get lonely?" Oh, it devastated me. And it wasn't even that serious of a moment. It's not that sad of a moment. Um, but also knowing what happens in later books. Ugh. I love those books so much. So this is my second reread. Not my first reread, my second reread of these books because I was excited about um the new one. And my friend, she already read the new one, and then she was sad that she has nothing else to read. And I was like, that's why I'm taking my time building up to it, rereading everything before I get to the new one. Ugh, they're so good. They're really, really so good. Please stick to them. Stick to those books. Read them all. They are great. They're really, really worth the time to sit with and absorb that story. I think they're the like one they're the bit of media that I would recommend to everyone. So I think there's like if you're a pet lover, great book. If you like isekais or anime, great book. If you like sci-fi, great book. If you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan, wonderful book to recommend. It's such a good book series. I love it so goddamn much. This phone finally turned on. But it's being weird about. Also, I like Carl, but there's so many other great characters that like I don't even think he makes the top 5. So I think top 5 is like number 1 goes to Donut, number 2 goes Prebitente. Then I think ooh, tryer's done. I think maybe Zev at 3, Katya, and then I don't even know who to put at 5. Maybe Carl, but also like I do love Mordecai. I don't know. I don't know who gets number 5. Also, honorable mentions to Sledgy. I do love some Sledgy. Sorry, Vinny. I might have to pause this stream for a second so that I can uh pull my clothes out of the dryer so they don't get too wrinkled. Um, but I won't be gone for very long, and I should be back fast. Also, I think I was right to do triple instead of single. This is building up really fast, and I'm really enjoying how this looks. I should probably do a zoomed in before I do my laundry. Let's see. I don't know where this camera is pointing. Yeah, this has been what just a couple hours of work. I started this last night, and it's also oops. I'm like sitting on it. It's obscenely long. I think I made it too long, too wide. I don't know what this is going to end up looking like. This was just supposed to get me back at crochet, get me to crochet again since I've been so out of it, and it's working. It doesn't take any brain work, so I'm really enjoying it. Plays laundry hold music. Yes, exactly. Um, Also, I'm gonna probably do like a very intense nose blow as soon as I pause the stream because I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it was the emotions or what, but my nose will not stop dripping, and it has not been dripping all day. All day it's been fine, and now it's just like there's a drip, and I really hate it, and I find it very gross. So yes, I should also change the camera. But yeah, triple crochets. I'm gonna try to do a whole blanket of just triple crochets. It was supposed to be single, but I like triple better. It feels great. It's more fun to do. So I will be right back as soon as I find my BRB screen. Okay, I'm back, and now this damn dog is gonna be hyper because I got up. He also, hey, don't slap him. What are you doing? He's a prince. Um, the entire time. Shoot, I turned the thing on so that I could make sure the music was on. Yeah. I made the I he always gets hyper when I get up, but then also he got right underneath me when I was pulling the clothes out of the dryer, and then just started to repeatedly fart. And his farts smell like you opened the gates of hell and all the sulfur is just coming straight out. It's terrible. Nightmarish. Um the entire I kept trying to like pull laundry out and he was just sitting underneath me just going like, "Hi." I farted again and I was like, "Ah, why are you doing this?" I just like of I don't know. He's a weirdo, but he's my weirdo, so huzzah. I don't know why this year I've aggressively started saying huzzah for everything, and I can't stop. Stop. Just chill. Chill. You're fine. Usa. Usa. But yeah. Leave him alone. Leave me alone. If you want to cuddle with him, you can cuddle with him. If you want to cuddle with me, cuddle with me. But stop attacking us. And if you have to fart, leave the goddamn room. It's nasty. It's nasty. It smells like fucking rotten eggs. It is so super heavy. It is not cool. Um. Hey, how are you? I've just been uh complaining about my life and fears. Um, and about Pugsley's sulfuric gas farts. Um, have not missed much, if anything. I don't even remember what I was talking about before. I went to go get laundry. Oh, Dungeon Crawler Carl. Yes, I love Dungeon Crawler Carl. Seth MacFarlane is doing the show, the live action show. I don't know what studio has it though. Um, um, I'm a little bit nervous about what the show is going to be because the book is so crazy that I don't fundamentally understand how that show is going to work. But I also just really hope that the show is successful enough that more people read the books. Because here's the thing about the female book demographic. A lot of them are only reading a specific genre, and they only branch out of that genre when an adaptation is made. And so maybe the show will get such good reviews. I went from not hearing about this ever to now it's everywhere. The book or the show? So people are talking about it again because the new book just came out this month. But I have been obsessed and trying to convert people to Dungeon Crawler Carl readers for like the last year. I think I started it maybe a year and a half ago, and I fucking love it. It's wonderful. Yeah, you're probably seeing ads because the new book just came out. I don't even know what the one is called. Oop. Is it book of 9? Okay. The Inevitable Run just came out, which I think it's supposed to be a race one. I don't remember. Each floor has like a different gimmick. Um, I think it's floor 8 or 9 has a trading card system, which is like really cool. And what they did with that was really fucking amazing. Um, I highly recommend that book series. Fucking wonderful. Fucking wonderful. People want spin-offs of other characters' points of views because people love the book so much. Um, I personally would take Prepotente or Katya, or even like there's hints at characters that are like not even on the charts that are going through stuff in the background. I would take one. I would take, which I doubt anybody would want. I'm sure there's some people out there that want it. I would take a book about, even though it's probably really boring because not a lot is happening. It would probably be really dark, but I would take a point of view from Zev. People want a prequel. People want like a Mordecai book where we learn what happened to him and like hear his story from his point of view. Um, it's so fucking good. I truly love it, and I'm enjoying this re-listen. And I was texting people that quote today because I loved it so much, and that scene always makes me boo the fuck who. Like I was truly at work, just fighting tears, trying to suck my tears back into my eyes because my coworkers walked in. Um, yeah, so good, so good. Also, or I was gonna say, who would have guessed that a cat would make me cry this much? But everyone who knows me knows that animals make me cry, so that's not funny. But it's not like sad animal stuff. It's just this character being so loving and so great and just so real and saying stuff that you just that hits in a really good way. And there's also it's the friendship is what like really really gets me. In this like really devastating scene, there's an aside between the two other characters where one of them asks like, "Would you do that for me?" And the other character is like, "In a heartbeat," and you're just like, ah, I love them so much. You really truly you're reading these books and you just want it. It is like the Hunger Games, except for instead of in the Hunger Games, or unlike the Hunger Games, you truly just want everyone to be safe and happy. You want every single person trapped in this fucking hellhole to be happy. Ugh. And every time something happens to one of them, it is gut wrenching. Like I think I don't remember when the plot twist happens with a specific character, but there's something happens like it's it's a book, but it's borderline a post credit scene with a character. And I remember the first time I read it, I was at work driving for a delivery, and I just screamed. I was like, no, 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 no. Like, it's, you really, really, really grow to fucking love every single character. Every single character you, you just, you love. And I really hope the show or movie or whatever they end up doing is good. Um, I really hope that because here's the thing is I recommended it to one of my female friends, and it's now like one of her favorite book series that she really really loves. And I wish more women would read the books. I think, and I think it's starting to spread, and I think it. I want I want the book talk girlies to get into it. The problem is you have to kind of get past book one to really appreciate it, and a lot of people uh, don't want to get past book one. Um, but once they get in their groove, both the writer and the narrator, it is good. Also, the thing about the audiobooks is the narrator is doing so many voices and doing them so goddamn well. There's apparently a second audiobook where it's a full cast. I haven't touched it because I love all of the voices the one narrator does for all of them. That I if I don't have him doing Donut, if I don't have him doing Crepitente, if I don't have him doing Carl, I don't want it. I think that's the other issue that I think a lot of fans who did the audiobooks are gonna kind of struggle with the live action is they're kind of just gonna be like, that's not what Carl's supposed to sound like, or that's not what Donut's supposed to sound like, or no, you're doing Prepotente wrong. It had that you have to do Prepotente the way that Jeff does it. you you have to have that nerdy longing. Where's the accent? He needs his accent. Um oh, I feel very strongly about this book. Very, very strongly about this book. Oh, I love how fast this project is building up. And that is why I was using this project as a get me back into crocheting while I'm in this funk kind of a thing. I planned on giving it a listen. Can't just jump in at the newest one though. Oh no no, definitely start at book one. Also, there is one character that I think is not even a quote unquote bad character, but is truly, truly, truly hated. Oh, thank you. he's he's a companion. He's one of the three critters of the couch. Also, welcome. Your first time here. It's Lady of what? Lady of Brain Matter? Um, you've just missed me finishing up my rant about how much I love Dungeon Crawler Carl and how I'm on my second reread so that I could read the new one with nice, fresh. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the follow. I tend to either sit here quietly and crochet or go on unrelated rants, very loud, very opinionative, while I sit here and crochet if I'm not playing Resident Evil or something else like that. But lately, I've just been enjoying sitting here and crocheting and ranting or watching something. But I'm waiting on the new episode of Half Man to come out because I think it's supposed to be. I think the new episodes come out on Thursdays, so um, I might watch that after I end the stream if it doesn't if y'all stop chatting with me, I might get real weird and just sit here silently absorbing a show. But I'd rather chat with you guys while you're here. Um, but that means that I am gonna stay up late because whenever I end the stream, I will be watching that really disturbing. It's not even quasi queer because one of the characters is gay, but it's a really fucked up show. I I was watching it the other day when I was still suffering from fatigue, so I didn't really want to stream. No, 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 I'm lying. I think that was when I was feeling better for a little bit, so I tried streaming again, and I watched the first 3 episodes on stream and then one after the stream. And I the entire time was really struggling with that show, man. That show is upsetting for reasons that like I cannot explain. It is a weird show. It is a weird show. And I was watching an interview with the creator, and he was talking about how he wanted to write it in a way where you can't tell which of the two main characters is the bad guy. And episode 4, he really mastered that dynamic with the two of them, because you're both like these both of these two need to be hospitalized and like not let out into the public. They both seem really fucked up. I um yeah, so that is what I will be doing after stream, is watching the new Half Man, because I don't even know if I like the show, but I really want to see what happens. And it's also probably one of the darkest shows I've seen in a really long time. But also, if you like weird drama stuff, I highly recommend The Girlfriend. The Girlfriend was a little bit of a funner version of this, where it's a girlfriend versus a boy mom in a like really fucked up like abusive war that they go into. And I saw a spoiler on TikTok, and I was like, well, now I have to watch the show, because what do you mean that this is a plot point in this show? Um, and it did not disappoint. The only thing that felt weird about The Girlfriend is the ending. And one quick Google, I figured out what happened, which is they changed the ending. They gave the show an opposite ending to the book, and so because of that, some of the dynamics change. And I don't want to spoil anything if you're gonna watch that, but in the book, 'cause it's a girlfriend versus a boy mom, right? In the book, one of them is significantly worse than the other and explicitly crazier than the other. In the show, they swap it so that the other one is a little bit more intense and a little bit more crazy and a little bit more in the wrong. And then also, what happens at the end is also switched. That's all I'll say about that, because I don't want to spoil it, because I do think more people should watch that show. Also, the lead, or one of the leads, who plays the girlfriend, is I want to say her name is Olivia Cook. I, for the longest time, could not stand her as an actress, but she's in House of the Dragon, and I really like her in House of the Dragon. Um, and I really liked her in The Girlfriend. And I think I figured out the reason I don't like her acting is I often see her playing an American character, but she's British. And when she plays a character with a British accent, she's more likable to me for some reason. I think I could see like there's like a weird I'm neurospicy. I wonder if there's just something that I can catch that she's doing an American accent, and her acting that she does when she's doing an American accent I find very grating. But when she's doing British, love her. I think she's a great actress. I saw her in something else too, where she was also using her real accent, and I thought she was great. But whenever she plays an American, but also whenever she plays an American, the roles that she's in are not good. I'm sure someone would argue that she's good in, or the movie Sound of Metal is good. I liked it. Did not like her character, or her acting choices are like really weird. Um, she's also barely in the movie, so you don't have any time to like warm up to her acting. She's also in Ready Player One, and I read the book, and so I found everything they did with that character in the movie kind of insufferable. Like in the book, she's supposed to have like a birthmark that covers like her entire like right side of her face. And in the movie you can barely see it. She's also doing some like really weird acting choices. It's not for me. Uh, the only other thing that she's been in that I think I've seen it quite a few. Oh, she's also in Thoroughbreds, which is a odd bizarre movie. Um with Anna Taylor Joy, and the entire movie is told via a conversation between these two girls. So like a good chunk of the movie is just them sitting on the couch talking to each other. It's kind of a good idea, but she's supposed to be a like textbook sociopath. Not like a bad person, but like someone who doesn't feel anything. Is that what a sociopath is? Someone who doesn't feel anything or feel fear or something? I forget what term is which, but she doesn't feel fear or anything. Arguably worse. Arguably way worse. Um I can't even describe what they did with that character in that movie. That whole movie is different. The book's really fun, but that whole movie got like um a breast lift compared to the books. They did not want to let that book or that movie be the book. There were some things they kept, and there's a lot of things they didn't keep. Um, but the book is meant to be a lot more nerdy and a lot more like we're gonna sit down and play a video game. The movie they needed it to be like really exciting and really big, and like the book's not that. The book is kind of chill, kind of calm. Um, it's more adventure-y in the sense like I don't even know what I can compare it to. Okay, the book should have been or the movie should have been more of the labyrinth, but they decided they were gonna go like Total Recall. It's supposed to be like a fun fantasy adventure, but they wanted to make it like actiony. I think it's the only way that I could describe that, and I don't even know if I'm describing that well. But there's also things in that book that are really gross. Um, the guy who wrote it is giving like I don't think incel is the right word. I don't know what word to use, but he's giving that weird energy of we're all guys, right? We know how guys want to like jerk off all the time, and it's just like I don't want this in a book. I don't want this in a book at all. So like okay, I haven't read this in years, so I don't remember how to describe how this happens. But at one point, the main character gets money because every step of the journey, he gets more money, and one of he buys himself like an apartment at one point, and then he starts to get himself a lot of like very specific accessories. One of the things he gets first is he gets a full submersion. I don't remember. Um, it's suit that he can put on, and it fully takes him into the game. And he like completely puts it over him. But to use that, he doesn't have to do this, but I guess for some reason it's easier to do this. He gets something installed in his shower that basically sprays his entire body with like a Nair like spray so that it completely gets rid of all the hair from like the top of his head to his toes. And so then he can put the suit on and it feels better. He then also gets a like sex robot that he fucks so much that he then gets bored and dilute like he gets like he's over sex, like he's overdoing things, and then he describes how he's just like so into the game, but like he like mathematically knows he needs to release, so he like calculates how often he needs to release to feel sane, and I'm just like, this was not needed in this book. This was not needed in this book, and by by the end of the story, um, I believe it's not said out loud, but he's still like a hairless freak. Like he doesn't have eyebrows, he doesn't have hair on his head, he doesn't have hair anywhere. Um, and I just like, for what? And I haven't read the sequel, but apparently like the stuff like that continues into the sequel, where you're just like, didn't need that, didn't need that. It's like J.K. Rowling's like tweets back in the day when one of the fans was like, do they wear boxers or briefs? And she was like, I know you didn't ask, but Lupin, when he transforms, has giant wolf balls. No, didn't ask. Didn't ask about Lupin's werewolf balls. Didn't want that. Didn't need that. Why are you telling us that? Except for instead of like on Twitter, it's just like in the book. There's a lot of stuff that happens in that book that I'm just like, I did not need that. I did not want that. Did not need that. Did not. And it's one of those things that I now like. I'm not a writer. If I ever were to write something, if I were to write a book, I am gonna be like, I'm not gonna put like a chart about how one of the character jerks off at certain times and what he needs. They did a lot of things more commercially attractive than her book version. Yeah. I totally. But with Hermione, really they just kind of like fixed her hair, and they just happened to cast someone who ended up being conventionally attractive. Um, which I would argue the character that they do that with in Ready Player One is not the female character. That's just a completely different character, but also the main character. So something that happens is like they just have him be conventionally attractive from the beginning. In the books, when it starts off, he's like fat. Like they make so many comments about like how fat he is. Like he's like too fat to function. And one of the upgrades he gets is like a treadmill thing, and that makes him skinny. He starts off the book fat, and he ends a hairless twink. Hairless in the sense of like he looks like an alien, not hairless as in like, look how smooth I am. He's truly like hairless. Like cannot preface how hairless this child is. But he's also, I think he's a legal adult by the end of the book, but he starts the book a child. Oh god, now I have to Google that because now I'm wondering, did this man write so much details about a teenager's sexual stuff? Hold on. Ready Player One character age. Okay, that's not true. Oh my god, are you kidding me? I just learned something and my eyes rolled. Okay, for starters, apparently, according to this like the Google AI thing, which is not reliable, it says he's 18 when the hunt begins, and he's around 20 when it ends. And I think he was still in high school in the beginning. So I want to say this isn't correct. I think he might have been 17 when it starts, and like in his 20s by the end. But also, I didn't know that the female's character's last name was Cook. So they hired Olivia Cook to play Samantha Cook, and I can't with that. Also, I don't remember the movie. I remember the book more than I remember the movie, because the movie was good, and the book I found really annoying. But in the books, I want to say one of his friends was very clearly like a trans character, or a character who was female in real life, but in the game was male, and it was supposed to be like a trans bit. I don't know if that made it into. I think it did make it into the movie, but I think they just made that character less important as a whole. Also, I did not remember that she was in that either. Weird. Oh, she played the love interest of the doctor. That's right. Yeah. No, if you look up pictures of this character in this movie, her birthmark is not there. It is like a slight discoloration. It is not a big red part. I think it's also like really cheesy and very like Manic Pixie Dream Girl, where it's supposed to be like she has a giant heart on her face because she's the love interest. It's like right. Got it. Cool. That's dumb. And but it is also like really annoying because I think they do leave it in the movie and it's really dumb. In the book, she's like, "I'm hideous. I'm ugly," and like the main character is like, "I'm a fat lazy piece of shit." So like, I just love you for your personality, and I hope you love me for my personality too. But by the end of the book, he's apparently like physically fit, and they're trying to make it like he's cool. It's also like he shaved his he nared his face. Like I can't get over the fact that he has no eyebrows and no hair, and he looks like an alien. Um, I'm sure he is physically fit now, but also like he was trying to be like, what's important is like what's on the inside. But like he has a full body transformation, and the only thing that makes her conventionally unattractive is that she has a giant heart shape on her face. And the movie made him conventionally attractive and took away her birthmark. Which, like, a birthmark is not going to make anyone less or more attractive. Also, the thing about a birthmark that annoys me is, like, if it really bothers you, it's probably not that hard to cover up with foundation. It's not like a big mole or anything. You can just cover it up. If they have foundation that can, like, cover up tattoos, a birthmark cannot be much harder. It might look a little caked on, but like if it bothers you, you can fix that. It's not that hard. I don't know. I don't even know how I got onto this rant. Oh, I know. Because I was talking about Olivia Cook. Which was because I was talking about the girlfriend. Which I was talking about because I'm gonna watch Half Man after the stream. Also, I think the next time the dryer sings, I'll probably end stream and then get ready for bed. needed work clothes, so I had to do laundry. He's an angel. He's a demon. It took a long time to get him to this point. I don't know. I haven't checked to see if the show's on yet. Instead, I just put on a movie. I put on Lurker because if I put on Half Man, I'm just gonna start screaming and talking about stuff that no one knows about. It's a crazy show. It's really bad. Um, but yeah, I put on something that's equally probably as crazy. Ooh, also too loud. I'm gonna turn the volume down, and it like cut to credits and was really loud. But also I started a new row. I For an anxiety project, I really am loving this blanket. I also didn't know what colors to get, so I just like grabbed something to grab something, and these colors are coming out really well. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes. I do need to finish working on my blanket for my friend, but I'll get to that when I get to it. What the fuck is this movie? He walked into this room and everyone had their pants down, and he's like, "Are you gonna stand there with your pants up?" And what is this? What the fuck? So the other day I went on a rant about the 1975 and how I don't like most of their music, but there's like 12 songs that will forever be on like my top 100 playlist and I am obsessed with. And I was like trying to explain it to my friend who had never listened to them before. And at some point I was like, you have to kind of understand that like Maddie Healy was like one of those people that was just always on somebody's fucking Tumblr. He was always on my dashboard, even though I didn't follow any 1975 blogs. He was just always being. He was a very like Tumblr esque person, and that they were a very Tumblr esque band. And my like continuously, but you also have to understand he's also like kind of pretentious and kind of an asshole. And one of the interesting things about him that people love to talk about is his like heroin addiction that he eventually got over. And I was like talking about like a lot of his like pretentious interviews, and I was like, Um, are you trying to guess which songs? Um, I'll tell you in a second, but not chocolate, not girls. Um, uh, and I came to the realization of like, um, he's very much, I think, a specific generation's Morrissey of like saying like kind of being kind of shitty, kind of being whatever, but also like people think I say as I have a giant Morrissey poster in front of me right now. Um, people just kind of liking to look at his face, but also saying like really obnoxious things, being kind of mean to people in interviews. So okay, so my top favorite is not even a 1975 song. They're just featured on it, which is "Narcissist." Top favorite, but I let me look at the list so I can tell you the 12. Sex is gonna be on there. I love sex. Ha ha ha. I said something stupid. But the song Sex by the 1975, definitely up there. Let's see what else. Uh About You, The Sound is on there. Love It If We Made It, I think is a amazing fucking song. But off the first album, I think my favorite is probably Sex. And then I like that one album that not that many people listen to for some reason. I like To Me, To Me, To Me. Um I love Ugh. I love Love Me. Um what else? I will always love Narcissist. Narcissist is a perfect fucking song. um Somebody Else is great. And I like their version better than the covers. That's one of the songs that a lot of people prefer the covers to. I love their version. Um, I also like their preludes, which I think are just called 1975, I believe, even though they didn't do it on every album. I love Sex. I think that song is great. Um, uh-oh, did my stream just crash, or is that just the player? Uh-oh. What's going on with my stream? Did my internet crash? What is happening? It looks fine. I wouldn't mind ending stream. I'm actually kind of feeling kind of rough. Why is my web browser not working? Okay, let's see. Is this other one working? Or is it just Twitch? Did Twitch crash? Ooh, it might just be Twitch because YouTube looks fine. But yeah, no. I Sex is my favorite one from their first album. There's something else on that first album that I really like. What is it? And I mean, like, chocolate is fine, but it's not. I don't think it'll make the top. Oh, girls over chocolate any day. Because a lot of people say chocolate is best. Girls over chocolate. But that second album, I like a lot of the songs from that second album. I love Love Me. I love Ugh. Um, I love Somebody Else. I like the sound. And then on their third album, just the interlude, just 1975. I don't think there's anything else, right? Yeah. And then on the fourth album, I like 1975, blah, 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 About You, which always makes me think of certain people in my life. And then I don't even think I've heard anything off. Oh, it's just a live album. Oh, so they haven't released anything new since 2022. Did Sex make it to the live album? Me to me. Love it if we made it. Oh, they did do a version of Sex. Okay, maybe I should listen to their live album and see if it's any good. But I don't like the majority of their discography, but I do think the stuff that's good is good, and I think a lot of people just like to hate them for no reason. Okay, finally my Twitch is back up, so I can catch up on. Um, I've literally never heard anything from Matty Healy outside of his music. Look up his interview. Don't remember what it's on. I don't know if it's on the Graham Norton show, but it's where he tells a story about equine therapy to get over his heroin addiction. Pretty good. Excuse me. Um, didn't crash. Like 10 minutes later, I still don't know if I like it. Like you're too shy. I always skip it. I might like it if I actually gave it a try. Um, I Here's the thing about them too, though, is love it if we made it. I think I discovered it really late. I discovered it maybe like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, when I was like in the trenches of dealing with shit from my boyfriend at the time and my ex friend at the time, or my friend at the time. Um, and I also like was really depressed. And whenever I listen to that song, I scream those fucking lyrics and I cry. I cry listening to that song because I think, especially in my relationship and my friendship, I think I fought so fucking hard for them and I tried really really hard. And also, I think even outside of that situation, I think I was just trying to just survive life so aggressively during that period of time. And even like at the aftermath of that, I tried so hard to just like get through it. That listening to that song, I wonder if one day I could listen to it and not have my eyes tear up. It's such a good guy. Like just the titular lyric. I'd like it if we made it. Like is such a good, because the whole song is about how everything is shit. Everything is bad. This is really, really bad, but I would love it if we could make it. I think that's such a good fucking song. I think it's a very powerful fucking song. And I as much as I don't I people who talk about Matty Healy like he's the best writer and musician that ever lived, I think need to calm down. But then there's also people who are like they're garbage and they don't write good or nothing they've done has been good. I think they also need to like calm down and actually give them a try. Because I love it if we made it. I think is worth the hype that it gets. Also, I think Narcissist is a fun song. I think Ugh is a fun song. Um, I was being like in my head the other day, being kind of pretentious, and I wanted to post a lyric, but I didn't because I thought too many people would think I was talking shit about them. And I was like, no, there's too many people mad at me right now that I cannot, I cannot post this lyric. Um, but it's the first lyric to Ugh, which is "Hey boy, stop pacing around the room using other people's faces as a mirror for you." That's really good. Like there's the thing about Matty Healy and the 1975 is there's a lot of lyrics by them that I do really like. Oh, see, yeah, no, okay, see, we can't talk about sex because I love every single. Oh no, that's not sex. That's I Love It If We Make It. The intro to that is good too. It's also the intro to that is very reminiscent of what's happening in sex. Uh, yeah, we're fucking in a car, shooting heroin, saying controversial shit just for the hell of it. Um, I don't. There's so many. So the thing about sex is there's a part. So there's quotes that he's quoting. So when he performed it live recently, he talked about how he wrote that song talking about how everything was bad the year he wrote it because Trump was about to be elected and he or just got elected. I don't remember, but he's talking about some of the headlines. So there's a part of it where he is just quoting stuff that is in the fucking paper and that was like headlines and magazines. So they like he one of the lines is "Thank you Kanye, very cool," where he is quoting Trump thanking fucking Kanye. And there's a few Trump quotes in it because he's talking about like how are we fucking in this fucking world? And when he performed it recently, he was like, I never wanted to perform this song again because I didn't think it would still be relevant. And I'm sad that I can still perform it because it's still fucking relevant. And like I think I want to say I went at her like a bitch is also a Trump quote. I think all the quotes in that section, I could be wrong, I don't know, but I wanna say all of the lines in that one section of the song are Trump quotes. And, like, he put it in there because it sounds so fucking crazy. It sounds insane, and it's so sad that, like, that is just, like, where we're at. Also, where is that song? Why is it not on that album? Am I looking at, like, a different? Is there a different version? When I go album by album, it doesn't come up. Is it a single? No, I'll just go to the top, whatever. Oh, I was looking at the wrong album. That's why I'm an idiot. Um, this album was also really good because I like "To Me, To Me, To Me." I like "Love It If We Made It." Okay, where's the Trump quotes? Okay, so I want to say a lot of these were all headlines at the time, and I think a couple of them are. Is this not where he says "Thank you, Kanye"? But it's I moved on her like a bitch, excited to be indicted. Unrequited house, 7 pools. Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. The war has been incited, and guess what? You're all invited. It's such a good song. It's one of those songs that I feel like a lot of people who listen to the 1975 know and understand that it's good. Um, but people who never gave them a try don't understand how good Love It If We Made It is. It's a great fucking song. Um, and like I get that everyone likes to hate the 1975 because they're kind of piece of shit bros who would also be doing the kind of locker room talk that they were talking shit about with Trump, right? Like we've all heard the interview of them joking about shit they don't understand and then being like, "We didn't understand what we were talking about." Yeah, but that's kind of the problem. But also, I have weird feelings about that interview because I think what they're saying is really shitty. But I've also heard people who I know for a fact aren't racist kind of talk like that. And so like I don't know, but I also don't I haven't listened to that interview since it came out, so I don't know if I'm just misremembering it. I don't remember it being that bad, but I also remember it being rough to listen to. I will not defend their fucking shit talking and stuff, but I also like I do think some of their music deserves more love. I Love It If We Made It is one of those songs that I will always have a very strong reaction to. I think it's really good. I also Narcissist will probably be in my top 25 songs forever. I love that song. But I'm probably gonna end stream soon because my laundry should be done in a second, and I want to go use the restroom and start to dissociate and wind down, um, so that I could go to bed early because I've been going to bed fairly early recently. Yesterday, I think I was in bed at like 10 or 9, and I still struggled to wake up. I don't remember what time I went to bed early. I don't want to lie and say it was early if it wasn't, but I don't remember yesterday night, so um, I don't know what happened, but I've been going to bed early and waking up late. That is the fatigue life. But I'm probably gonna work on this for a little bit more after stream, and hopefully this weekend I can get my shit together so that I can start working on my blanket for my friend, work on my granny square blanket some more, and get stuff together. I woke up fucking 2 hours before work and still was timid. I woke up 3 hours early, rolled over, and then woke up like 5 minutes late, and it was like, well, fuck, okay, all right. I should have got up, but I was. It was also early, and I also was still feeling fatigued, and I was like, it will be nice if I stay laying down. And I made the mistake of staying laying down, and then I struggled. But I do, in fact, have to go piss, and it's perfectly at the like a little past the 2 hour mark. I think it's a great time to end. I'm trying to get back into uh streaming regularly again. Although it is difficile because I have just been feeling like such utter shit lately, which is not fun, not great. I don't recommend doing. Um but yeah. I will I'm trying to get back in. I also want to get back into my playing all of Resident Evil. Um, but I have just like, what is this on my? I don't know. I've been really into crocheting lately, and it is very comforting, and it's what I think about most of the day. So I've hit a stride, so I don't want to stop that stride. So, but I'll be back soon. Thanks for all my chatters. There was way more chatters than I was used to. 3 people coming in and chatting with me was very nice and very interesting, but also a very new sensation, um, which I did not expect. So thank you. Um, I get nervous because I don't know if someone's crocheting along with me, if they want me to sit down and shut up and just crochet, or if some people are here for chatting. And what happens if both of those people are in the stream at the same time? Do I commit to sitting here and being awkward and silent, or do I chat? I don't know. I think maybe when there's more people who are watching, I will figure that out because I like doing both. I like chatting, and I also don't mind sitting here watching TV and crocheting. I think I get more work done that way than when I start going on a rant about Olivia Cook's acting history. But thank you, and I'll talk soon. Uh, if y'all want to chat off stream, follow me on X or I would say Instagram, but my Instagram is garbage, so message me somewhere else. I don't know, but I'll respond.